I'm Sam Alexandrovich. Thanks for joining us. We have a lot to report on tonight with international, national, and local reporters from near and far.
And I'm Brandon Z, here with Sam at the Anchor's desk. We appreciate you watching, and this is DVC News.
Story, we look into questionable labor practices in a popular food product that everyone loves, chocolate. With more on the controversy, here is Riley Lim.
Child slavery has been going on for over 140 years. The use of enforced child labor exists in Western Africa countries, mostly Ghana and the Ivory Coast. Children use sharp tools like machetes and cutlasses to cut cocoa pods from the trees and split them open. Also extract raw beans from the pods by hand. The workers, some as young as 6, carry heavy baskets or sacks of harvest pods and dried beans over long distance through rugged rain terror. With loads weighing over 100 pounds, they are frequently tasked with spraying industrial pesticides and fungicides on cocoa pods, often without any protective clothing. In the early 2000s, investigations put this terrible practice about children being trafficked into the spotlight. Again, even after this investigation and others, this practice still comes with chocolate companies only voluntarily pledging to end child slavery. Chocolate companies allegedly still using child slavery are Mars, Nestle, and the Hershey's Chocolate Company, and others. This is Riley Lim reporting.
On a lighter note, let's talk a little monkey business. You may have heard about Punch the monkey, who has found it hard to connect with others of his kind. Jack Bergstrom brings us more details.
A monkey at Ishikawa Zoo in Japan is winning hearts online after finding an unexpected best friend in February 2026. A monkey named Punch, also known as Panchi-kun, went viral after his story spread across social media. Punch was born with anxiety and attachment issues after being separated from his mother at birth, and because of that, he struggled to bond with the other monkeys at the zoo, who often treated him like an outsider. To help him feel less alone, zoo staff gave him a stuffed monkey for comfort and companionship. What started as a simple support quickly turned into something much bigger, as images and videos of Punch and his plush friend began spreading online and capturing global attention. People have been calling this story both heartwarming and emotional, as it highlights how even animals can experience loneliness and connection. Zoo staff say the reaction has helped raise awareness about emotional care for animals in captivity, and now Punch has a constant companion by his side, showing that friendship can come in unexpected forms, even a stuffed toy. DVC News, this is Jackson Bergstrom, back to you.
And meow for a perfect story. Izzy the cat has made herself comfortable while getting a free college education. Here's Angel Nye with that warm and fuzzy story.
Students at one college are finding stress relief in an unexpected place, the campus library. Issy, a library cat, has become a familiar face, keeping students company while they study. Many at Oxford University say spending time with the cat helps them relax, especially during busy times like midterms and finals. Staff say the cat also makes the space feel more welcoming and encourages students to spend more time in the library. The cat even has gained attention on social media, drawing more visitors to campus and increasing interest in the program. While it may seem simple, the cat has become an important part of student life, offering comfort and a break from academic pressure.
And now it's time to pay some bills, so let's hear from one of our generous sponsors.
Hi, I'm Mac, CEO of Aloof Electronics, and we've got some big news. Allow me to introduce our new AI assistant. That would be Aloof's brand spanking new Kylie. Let me show you how it works.
Hi, Kylene. So, I was going to Starbucks and I was ordering my daily coffee. They overcharged me for my order. So, would you mind helping me out?
Hi, Jolene. I'm Kylie. What can I do for you?
Hi, Kylene. I went to Starbucks today. They overcharged me for my daily coffee. Would you mind helping me out?
Of course. Here's how to reset your printer.
It's gotta be.
I believe this assistance can make a difference in your day-to-day life, and you can get this at your local retailer.
Kylie and the new automated AI assistant. Together, you can make us money. Until the data breach happens and we are forced to fly to Kenya to avoid the class action lawsuits.
And now for a story coming from our neighbors up north. Canada is dealing with debate and criticism regarding a controversial government-funded euthanasia program called Medical Assistance in Dying, or MAID. I took a deeper dive into the story and sought out some perspective, and here's what I discovered.
Imagine you have a disease that causes extreme, incurable suffering. You may only have a few months to live. Would you want to take your life into your own hands? Canada's solution to this controversial issue is a government-funded program called Medical Assistance in Dying, or MAID. MAID seeks to offer a humane and compassionate end-of-life option for those who are already nearing death.
Someone would choose to get MAID, including myself, if they were suffering from a grievous disease that was causing a lot of pain.
The government has strict guidelines on who qualifies for MAID.
To be able to receive MAID, you have to be an adult over 18. You have to have a terminal disease that there's no chance that you're going to recover from it.
However, there's been reports of individuals who don't fit that criteria applying and proceeding with MAID regardless.
There was a case with Keanu Vafayan. He was 26 years old. He had depression, diabetes, and blindness. And he was not taking his medication properly. He wanted assisted suicide. His family were very much against it, said that he needed the right doctor and proper treatment. But since he was an adult, rather than listening to his family, he signed his own papers and he received MAID.
According to the government's 6th annual report on medical assistance in dying, 16,499 people died via MAID in 2024, accounting for roughly 5.1% of all deaths in Canada. Since legalization in 2016, over 76,000 people have died by MAID. Critics argue that number is too high.
If you look at the numbers, 1 in 20 deaths based on the government's own statistics reported are caused by MAID. A lot of those MAID deaths are not reported as MAID deaths and reported as natural causes. Therefore, the numbers are likely very much higher.
Supporters, however, say those numbers are being misrepresented.
MAID, according to the federal government webpage, is not a reason for death. What the reason for death would be the underlying condition that caused the person to accept MAID.
The issue continues to cause debate both locally and abroad.
Now, to some, it's a vacation paradise, but to others, it's their livelihood. On the island of Hawaii, with the scoop, is our reporter, Keolani Kai.
After an exciting competition and shopping weekend, Halauhi'iyaka Inamaka'lehua took home the title of overall winner at the 63rd Merry Monarch Festival in Hilo, Hawaii. For those unfamiliar, Merry Monarch is a celebratory festival and competition for hula and Hawaiian culture known as the Olympics of Hula. From Oahu and under the direction of Kumuhula, or group leader, Robert Keanu Kapu'u IV, this group earned winning honors after big group reconstruction. Ko Kumuhula Lono Padilla's leave caused a large turnover of dancers, forcing the group to adapt and prepare in time for Merry Monarch. Kapu'u reflects they have to discover the process of regeneration as a group to heal from their losses. Standing as a solo kumu is a new experience to Kapu'u, and he thanked Padilla for his assistance along the journey. Despite those challenges, Hi'iyaka Inamaka'lehua also won titles for their beautiful performances in the Kane Awana, their men's musical medley, Wahine Kahiko, their ladies' traditional dance, Kane Kahiko, their men's traditional dance, and Kane men's overall categories during the 2026 festival.
In local news, a baby sea lion was recently spotted wandering around San Francisco. Following that trail, and to tell us more, let's go now to Oswaldo Aguayo.
A baby sea lion, now nicknamed Irvin, was spotted wandering around the streets in the quiet early hours of San Francisco's outer Sunset District. With most of the neighborhood asleep and only a few late-night pedestrians out, the unusual sighting quickly caught people off guard as the small animal moved through the dimly lit streets. Witness says that he calmly flapped around the sidewalks and briefly stopped as if it was a tourist taken in the quiet city at night. One witness says that they initially thought it was a stray dog before realizing what it actually was. Animal rescue teams safely guided him back towards the waterfront, where he was quickly checked out and found to be healthy. Experts say that young sea lions could sometimes be disoriented and wander away from the ocean. And officials remind the public keep their distance from wildlife and report unusual sightings as Irvin's short adventure quickly became a memorable moment for locals.
While breaking up a fight in front of a local elementary school, a tragedy occurred, resulting in the death of a relative of one of the students. Our reporter, Cortez Kiambao, brings us more of the details.
A disheartening story: an elderly man died after a fight at a Concord Elementary School parking lot. The fight happened during an after-school program at Sun Terrace Elementary School, Mount Diablo Unified School District, Concord, California, in April. Dr. Adam Clark, the Sun Terrace Elementary School superintendent, said that some relatives of students at the school got into an altercation. 62-year-old Sohon Mahone, a relative from one of the students, attempted to break up the fight, which resulted in a medical emergency. First aid and AEDs, automated external defibrillators, were used for resuscitation, but were ineffective. Residents nearby the school commented on the event being scary having something like that in your neighborhood, and it is a time for the community to come together. The superintendent gave his support, stating that they have counselors and assistants on site for teachers who need it. Concord Police, investigating the case, commented that they are not looking for any suspects and there is no threat to the public. Cortez Campbell, DVC News.
Up next is a story for all you motorcycle riders out there. Here's Evan Jones with how one of the most popular motorcycle brands may be taking the off-ramp.
Sales are slowing, and a legendary American brand is starting to feel the pressure. Harley-Davidson is facing a decline as it struggles to connect with younger riders and keep up with changing trends. For decades, Harley-Davidson represented freedom on the open road, but in recent years, motorcycle sales have dropped, especially here in the United States, being its biggest market. A big part of the problem is who's buying. Harley's traditional customer base is getting older, and many younger people just aren't as interested in heavyweight or chopper-styled bikes. On top of that, rising prices and growing competition from many other manufacturers offering more affordable options are making it even harder for the company to keep up. Harley has tried to adjust, investing in electric motorcycles like the Livewire and looking to expand into new markets. But so far, those efforts have had mostly negative responses. Even with these challenges, Harley-Davidson is still one of the biggest names in American manufacturing, backed by a loyal following and family. Company leaders say they're focused on innovation and attracting a new generation of riders, but whether that is still enough to turn things around is still unclear.
With the rise in anti-vax culture, we are already seeing some repercussions here in the Bay Area. Let's go to Kai Willis for her report on a story about a very viral virus spreading in San Francisco.
In the month of April, the San Francisco Bay Area has seen a surge in multiple viral illnesses, especially gastrointestinal and respiratory infections. Health officials say viruses like norovirus, rotavirus, RSV, and the flu are all circulating at higher levels than usual. Rotavirus in particular is impacting young children, causing symptoms like vomiting, fever, and dehydration. Data from wastewater monitoring shows that while COVID-19 cases remain low, other viruses are lingering longer than usual into the spring. Experts are still working to understand what's exactly driving the spike, but they say lower vaccination rates may be a contributing factor. According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines, rotavirus vaccination is still recommended for infants, and doctors emphasize staying up to date on routine immunizations. Health officials advise frequent hand washing and staying home when sick as research continues.
Daily commuters in the Bay Area may be facing an uphill battle just to get to work. Rafael Rodriguez reports on how major budget cuts might affect daily life for Bay Area BART riders, tourists, and recreational users of the transit system alike.
BART is warning of major cuts in 2027 if a regional sales tax measures on the November 2026 bullet fails. The agency faces a $3.8 billion deficit as ridership remains about 50% below pre-pandemic levels. And its backup plan includes station closure, service reduction, fare hikes, and more than 1,000 layoffs. Starting January 2027, BART would shrink to 3 lines. Trains would run every 30 minutes. The system would close at 9 p.m. And 10 stations, including Orinda, North Concord Martinez, South San Francisco, San Bruno, and Warm Springs, could shut down. By July, up to 15 stations may close. The Blue Line, Daly City to Dublin, Pleasanton, could be eliminated, and service cuts to 70% of current levels. Bart says these are worst-case scenario, and the outcome of the 2026 sales tax vote would determine whether the cuts move forward.
Here's a hot story, Brandon. A wedding ceremony that was supposed to be magical suddenly caught fire and turned into devastation beyond comprehension for a young couple. However, it wasn't all burnt to ashes. Kaylin Sturley joins us with her report on the wedding that went up in smoke.
It was almost trouble in paradise for these newlyweds when their wedding venue caught flame just as they were about to exchange their vows on the night of April 21st. When firefighters arrived at the building located at 123 Center Atterview in Abington, Massachusetts, which had a pizza restaurant in the front and an event hall in the back, the wedding had already been partially evacuated, according to local news outlets. Guests of the wedding noticed the smoke coming through the windows of the venue, and firefighters were called to the scene, according to the Boston 25 News. However, the Abington Fire Department states that the fire was likely an accident and was the result of improper disposal of smoking materials. Nonetheless, the happy couple was able to say their I do's in front of their loved ones and close off the ceremony with the help of firefighters at the Abington Police Department. Although the firefighters couldn't stay for the after party, they snapped a picture with the couple as they raised their arms in celebration.
There's much more to come, so stick around and we will be right back with more news.
Hi there, I'm Berta Jones and I'm running for California governor. I believe in workers' rights and workers' wrongs. I have a strong opinion on all the important issues, like cats or dogs, peanut butter or jelly, wars or no wars. But the most important thing to remember when you're thinking about whether or not to vote for me is that I'm your best choice. Vote Berta Jones. What else are you gonna do?
Are you lonely? Looking for companionship? Willing to give up literally everything to find any modicum of semi-personal connection to subsist off of for your depressing, isolated life? Well then boy, do we have the product for you. Introducing Baby! Biological aesthetic baby involving an easy, new, and fun way to making babies the old-fashioned way. It's simple. Just add the tablet to the mystery fluid and wait a day or two.
Wow, it really works.
See? Simple as 1, 2, 3, literally. And you too can have your own little bundle of joy with a low price of $69.69.69. That's right, that's $69.69.69. Today.
Some side effects may include drowsiness, night terrors, comatose states, sleepwalking paralysis, nosebleeds, screaming, ear bleeds, nausea, eye bleeds, and general bleeding, as well as lung damage, leg damage, radiation poisoning, any and all forms of cancer, tumors, regional pain, and in most cases death. A fate worse than death, and a fate worse than a fate worse than death. You have been warned.
Real or fake? You tell me. With advances in artificial intelligence happening exponentially, it's getting harder to tell the difference between what humans are producing and what the machines are coming up with. Here's Kayla and Dukta with this 100% human story.
We are looking at a growing question in the creative world. Will artificial intelligence take over creative jobs? As AI technology rapidly advances, tools are now capable of generating art, writing, music, and design in a matter of seconds. This shift is affecting creative professionals across industries like media, entertainment, and advertising, not just in the US, but around the world. Many companies are turning to AI because it is faster and more cost-effective, raising concerns about job security for artists, writers, and designers. However, experts say AI still relies heavily on human input. While it can mimic creativity, it lacks true emotion, originality, and lived experience, things that define human art. So, while AI is reshaping the creative landscape, it may not be replacing creativity altogether, but rather changing how it works. For now, the future of creative jobs stay uncertain, but one thing is clear: the conversation is just getting started.
Animated movies are more popular than ever. But what happens when your favorite franchise leaks months before its scheduled release? Here's our reporter, Ash Liu, with the background on this incident.
You better avoid social media if you don't want to be spoiled.
Paramount Plus's new and unreleased animated movie, Avatar: Legend of Aang: The Last Airbender, seems to have crossed the internet by storm, surfacing online months in advance from its initial release date. 2-minute-long clips were leaked by an anonymous Twitter, or X user, through a post with the sheer reason to troll. He claimed a Nickelodeon employee emailed him the film, but was later revealed that an old hacker friend sent him a full copy of the movie. In April, the clips had circulated the internet to different communities, including 4chan, an image board website for fans of different interests, where they pressured the poster to leak the full film. In the end, he didn't, but that didn't stop another user, one from Singapore, from leaking the full movie. Since then, Paramount has conducted an investigation on the incident, while the situation has also sparked discussions from the company's decision foregoing a theatrical release, and clips of the movie on X are still being taken down through its copyright policies.
If buying concert tickets has been feeling more expensive than ever, it's not just your imagination. Here's Ali Dela Cruz with a story on how the ticket industry has become a modern-day monopoly.
Fans fed up with sky-high concert ticket prices may finally have a reason to celebrate after a federal jury found Live Nation Entertainment guilty of illegally monopolizing the U.S. ticketing market through Ticketmaster in a landmark ruling that could reshape the live music industry. The decision came after weeks of testimony in a years-long case brought by state attorney officials and federal regulators over the 2010 Live Nation Ticketmaster merge and whether the company had used its control of venues, promotions, and ticketing to block competition. At the trial, states argued Live Nation locked venues into long-term exclusive contracts, made switching ticketing platforms difficult, and bundled services in ways that shut competitors out. They also pointed to internal documents suggesting that the company knew its market power and have actively worked to protect it at high priority. Plaintiffs said that this has led to higher fees and added costs across millions of ticket purchases. Live Nation had argued that the market is still competitive, with how artists set base ticket prices and fees covering operating costs, but the jury ultimately sided with the states. The case now moves to the recourse phase, where a judge could impose fines, restrictions, or structural changes. Live Nation says that they plan to appeal.
When we come back, our reporter Mark Racher will take a look into what Asian American and Pacific Islanders Month means to DVC students right after this.
All these crooked files. It's gonna take me so long to redact them all. Why did I have to fire Ben Bunny? All these crooked files. If only there was a better way.
Has this ever happened to you?
Yes. Oh, that was time, but whatever.
Pesky files getting you down?
Yes.
Now, for just a small loan, payment of $1 million, you can get your hands on the state-of-the-art file redactor.
Wow, how cool this thing is. You can redact 1 million files a second. What's up with that?
Just put the files into the organizer, close the drawer, and boom, there's your files. For just a small one-time payment of $1 million, you too can get your hands on your very own redactor.
It's AAIP month, and if you aren't familiar with that acronym, we turn to our correspondent Mark Racher for an explanation in this special report produced by our intermediate class.
Every month has their own dedicated group commemorating its history. February has Black History Month, October has Queer History Month, and for this month, May, is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Month, or AAPI Month for short. Originally established as a weeks-long celebration in the month of May, Congress, in the early 90s, dedicated the entire month to the group, with this year marking its 34th anniversary.
The month carries special significance here, with a third of the Bay Area's population identifying as Asian American or Pacific Islander, especially so at DVC, with a significant portion of the student body being made up of foreign exchange students. With so much diversity, the school is the perfect environment for cultural exchange. But what are some of the organizations and programs provided? We asked the head of the DVC Anape group for more.
I am an admin for the Dean of Student Equity and Engagement here at Diablo Valley College. My work entails paying invoices for all the events that all the learning programs do. I'm a part of the graduation committee. I'm a part of the welcome day committee. I also work with ANAPI as one of the original task force members, and we have since been granted monies from the state, and now we started a learning community here at DVC. We host the Mooncake Festival. We're planning right now for the Lay Day Festival for the Native Hawaiian community, Polynesian community. We had a Chinese New Year parade, and we ended up at the Pleasant Hill Market across the street, and it was probably over 1,000 attendees. And we also attend a PAHE, which is a convention for higher education for the Asian community, Native Hawaiian, and also DESI. We started with maybe 15 students, and now we've doubled to about 30 students. And we have this is our 4th year of celebrating our Asian, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander students. We celebrate them with a PITA graduation. It's a huge event that we take turns on which campus. This year it's back to CCC, and we have a huge celebration for them. I found it myself since working with the ANAPI group is feeling like I'm a valued member and how my opinion matters, and wanting the best for the students. And when they see me on campus and saying hi to them, it just brings me joy.
After more than a century of Asian American and Pacific Islanders' lack of visibility, the community is finding their own unique ways to represent one another. And with times like these proving more and more uncertain for minority groups across the country, programs like this display the importance of the AAPI community, sharing it and celebrating it with those both locally and abroad.
And now for all you true crime and conspiracy fans alike, put on your tinfoil hats. I have a mystery for you that's really out there.
I'm here at an observatory used by scientists and stargazers alike to bring you a mystery spanning numerous generations. Over 10 scientists tied to experimental research have gone missing or been killed in the last few years. After this most recent murder, authorities have taken a special interest in these occurrences due to the sensitive nature of the work associated with them. FBI has joined in a joint investigation with the Department of Energy, local authorities, as well as the Pentagon, according to our military sources. The official statement is that these murders and disappearances are not related. However, some researchers familiar with their work cite the top-secret nature of the projects, with some having worked on nuclear, as well as what other sources would call experimental propulsion systems. With all the recent congressional hearings regarding the UFO question and how it ties to national defense, experts and the public alike cannot help but wonder if these recent scientists' misfortunes have something to do with the disclosure of recent years. It would seem that the scale of the investigation being mounted gives credence to the fears that many have shared regarding the possible connections of these tragedies. This has been Brandon Z. Back to you.
And now, with more on the unregulated world of AI, let's go to Autumn Scheider with data center regulations in the works nearby.
The rise of AI has created an increased demand for data centers all across the country, but not everyone is so keen to let them pop up. The City of Oakley's City Council has just unanimously approved a 45-day ban from accepting, processing, and approving land use applications for data centers. This ban gives the city time to create proper zoning laws for data centers, and in the meantime, the city is going to evaluate the impact of data centers and gather public input from residents. We talked to an Oakley resident and asked them what they think about the ban and the creation of data centers in their town.
I personally think we shouldn't build them. I know a lot of people in our community agree with that. The fact that they're gonna have to dig up the entirety of Main Street because the data center requires 12-inch pipes and we only have 10-inch pipes. All of Main Street would have to be dug up. It would just cause a lot of traffic. A lot of businesses could close. It could risk a lot of damages to our infrastructure regardless. And Who knows how long the construction would take on something like that. They're trying to say it's going to provide more jobs, this, that, and the third. But everyone knows that AI data centers don't need people working there. I don't even think AI is going to be necessary within the next 15, 20 years. So I think it'll just die out.
Oakley City Council will have the chance to extend the ban another 10 months and 15 days in May, and potentially another year after that. One of the biggest concerns is about the energy usage that data centers require to operate. Behind me is one of the Vantage data centers in Santa Clara, located only a few hours south of Oakley. This data center alone has a capacity of 77 megawatts. To put that into perspective, this data center runs at full power. It would use enough energy to be able to power a little over 7 family homes for a whole year. And this begs the question, is it worth all this power just to generate your child's homework answers?
Well, that's the news. I'm Brandon Z.
And I'm Sam Alexandrovich. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for Stylishly Late with Mark Racher coming up next.